Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here at the FII New Africa Summit to discuss a very nice topic, whether tourism can be a catalyst for sustainable economic growth in Africa. Today we'll explore the transformative potential of tourism. Allow me to introduce our esteemed speaker, Mr. Lefebvre, the video executive chairman of Heritage Group, with over 40 years of experience in the cruise and leisure industries. You have played a key role in the global travel landscape, and definitely your unique perspective on sustainable tourism will surely add invaluable insights to this discussion. Very happy to have you with us.
Yes, well, thank you to everybody. I actually bought and own a company called Abercrombie & Kent, which is 6 years of operations in Africa. So it's a great history about Africa. We heard a lot of talking about the fact that Africa needs infrastructure, it needs stability of government, clear tax rules, and so on, and all of these things. There are some elements which we have to be open and talk about, which is the risk of over-tourism, which we're facing in Europe, and it will come to Africa, and also there is the consequences of economical development, which is a great thing, but it can affect negatively tourism. Yeah. If we don't control these two phenomena, you'll find yourself in a situation where you reduce the potential of revenue instead of enhancing it. I might say that on the other side, there are a lot of potential in Africa which is unexploited. The history of the historical kingdoms of Africa, the history of the infamous slave trade. So I've been trying to look at how we could expand our activity also in the western regions of Africa, sub-Sahara, which could be potentially very interesting for a number of people that want to learn about that country and see what it was. But that has to be done and it will take time. So the big thing is, apart from all the infrastructure and all of that, is how not to transform what it should be an experience of being in the nature, engaging with wildlife, or beautiful natural sites, with the consequences of over-tourism, where you are and there's a queue of 50 cars to look at 2 lions, or where there is, the fact that population expansion reduces the areas. Yeah. So there's also the problem of poaching, which has reduced the population of the animal life, which has to be fought, and actually one should do all we can to repopulate. Finally, I must say that I think that tourism should play a responsible role in directly supporting the local populations. As Abercrombie & Kent, we have very many initiatives that help the population where we bring tourists. Because one thing is doing profit and then paying taxes, another thing is having a direct action which can be more efficient and very efficient to support the population.
Okay, so you basically spoke about some of the best practices African countries can adopt to maximize the growth of tourism. Is that correct? Okay. So
well, yes, I say, how can you maximize tourism revenue potential and employment potential, which is not only number of people, it's expenditure, for example. If you bring in,
about infrastructure?
I preach for myself, because my company brings high spenders. Okay. It's people who, when they go to a country, they will also donate money for communities or things like this, and we do it ourselves. So that's a kind of tourism which clearly has a low impact on the natural life and the natural beauties, and a high return potential and a high employment potential. But in general, it's a problem that we need to find a way to combine economical growth and potential with the problems of tourism on one side and the consequences of a flourishing society, which is happening in Africa. So many places with economical development, and so you have a perfect example, which is Rwanda.
Okay, this is what I was coming to. Let's talk about a successful example that exists today. A successful example that exists today.
Managed company is Progress. It's a country which is very stable. It has certainty of law, certainty of tax consequences, and they are protecting the natural environment, and which is mainly the gorilla that you can visit and see these incredible things. Other countries nearby have the same potential because they are in the same geographical area, but are not succeeding in doing the same positive thing. A tourist will go to Rwanda feeling very safe, which is important, and he will be protected, in fact. And so it's, you have to combine diverging directions. Which
Let me ask a question. In what ways can tourism training today and education initiatives be enhanced to empower young Africans and women for the future, basically?
Yeah, so, well, Africa
Especially in this sector, what I mean is...
sometimes Africa has an excess of exploitation of young people. No? You have that side which has to be limited. On the other side, we have to train them. The travel space is a great job because it requires a lot of manpower, so it creates a lot of employment as a consequence of economic development. And it is something that you can train to people, and they can learn. They can learn everything. They can learn from being good cooks, being guides, being all of this, and how to handle tourists. So it's something that is happening, but we need to do more. And of course, in our camps, it's all African people. So, and young people, the sooner you get them to learn, the better they will be during their life.
Let's go back to one subject you have touched base on, for cultural tourism. What measures are essential to ensure that local traditions and identities are very well respected?
The identity?
Yeah.
Well,
Local heritage,
yes,
people that are visiting.
You have to combine these populations. They want progress.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the first time I went to Lake Turkana in Kenya, it was a totally isolated environment.
Okay.
I came back 20 years later. Everybody had a cell phone. So, but they want a cell phone. They want to communicate, and it's a way for them to interact with everything. So you have to preserve what is the basis of the culture with the progress. It's not easy because the progress, well, for example, here in Saudi Arabia, it's a very flourishing country. Your traditions are very well established. You wear the traditional dress with pride.
Yes, of course.
And this is something great. I think that countries which combine economical progress with the pride of their traditions are very successful.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Mr. Lefebvre. It's a quick one, but I feel like it's been a half hour.
I tried to speak as fast as I could.
Okay. As we conclude, it's clear that...
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's give it up. We'll end it at that. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.